Four people, all teenagers, have been charged in connection with the shooting death of rapper Pop Smoke. The Los Angeles County DA says 18-year-old Keandre Rogers and 19-year-old Corey Walker have both been charged with murder with a special circumstance allegation.
Yeah, it's definitely a plan, but it's definitely still organic.
Right.
By plan, I just mean it's God's plan. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not like I'm overthinking. You know what I'm saying? When I'm thinking, it's just happening.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no. I'm saying for us, it was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
For people listening, they probably just heard it about 2 months ago, because I feel like I might have been the first one to play it on the radio.
An 18-year-old man charged with the death of Pop Smoke confessed to killing the rapper during a home invasion in 2020, the Los Angeles Times reports. The defendant admitted to a first-degree murder charge stemming from the February 19th, 2020, death of Pop Smoke, whose real name was Bashar Baraka Jackson. The man, whose name has been withheld from the court because he was 15 at the time of the rapper's death, was charged in juvenile court and could remain incarcerated in a state juvenile facility until he turns 25. He also confessed to a home invasion robbery charge and an allegation that he personally and intentionally discharged a firearm during the crime. But is that the whole truth, or was he hiding behind someone else's actions? The 18-year-old was one of the four men charged in the murder of the rapper. The admission came after a 20-year-old man was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in a juvenile facility. Nobody started the decade on a hot streak like Pop Smoke. His track, Welcome to the Party, was undisputedly the song of the summer, and his work was actively mutating the sound of his hometown, New York. Pop Smoke would have been the one to restore New York to its former glory. At the beginning of his career, the charismatic 20-year-old Canarsie, Brooklyn native, served up the sequel to his debut mixtape, Meet the Woo. The record landed a top 10 spot on the U.S. Billboard charts and demonstrated the mainstream potential of Pop's transatlantic blend of guttural NYC street rap with UK drill sonics. While he'd spent his teenage years being urged to apply his unique grave voice to record, Smoke never planned to be a rapper. His rise is an unorthodox tale that wouldn't have been predicted by anyone, let alone the man himself. Tragically, with his most exciting chapter just a page turn away, Pop Smoke's story was cut short. As the world prepared for more of his music, on February 19, 2020, the news spread that he'd been killed. In the early hours of the morning, the Hollywood Hills house that the rapper had been renting was invaded and his life was violently taken. He was shot on the premises and died from his injuries just 45 minutes later at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, the same place where fellow Brooklyn rapper, the Notorious Big, had passed away 23 years prior. Everybody that comes from the hood is either going to rap, play ball, or sell drugs. That's the main three. Pop Smoke told the LA Leakers during an interview in November 2019. So, I did all of the above, plus more, and I was good at everything. Pop had a promising basketball career ahead of him during his teenage years. At 15, he moved to North Philadelphia with a full scholarship to attend Rock Top Academy, a prep school that would prepare him to play in college. Unfortunately, a heart murmur, discovered 6 months into the program, meant that he would no longer be able to play competitively, bringing his hoop dreams to an end and sending him right back onto the streets of Canarsie. By 16, he was already driving a Pepsi Blue 2016 BMW with a cream interior and living a life far more luxurious than most, embodying the floss that his neighborhood is known for, as well as the woo movement, which referred to his self-made winning lifestyle. In late 2018, Bashar, nicknamed Papa by his Panamanian grandma and known on the streets as Smoke O Guap, was in the studio with his rapper friend Jay Guapo. Before I was rapping, I have been around a lot of artists, he told London's SK Vibe Maker. Like Heavy Duty, I was one of those guys making sure everything go right. Guapo got so high that he fell asleep, so Pope pulled up the instrumental to Chef G's Sleepy Hollow and Fresh G's Panic Part 3 Inches on YouTube and recorded his first ever song, a verse and two hooks chronicling his pursuit of Tony Montana's vices: money, power, and respect. Pop's previous musical experience came from singing in the church choir when he was young and his dad playing traditional African drums, which he credits for giving him an ear for rhythm-heavy instrumentals. I always said I knew I was going to try it out, he continued with SK. It was just a matter of timing. He took the track, titled simply NPR, to his block for a test run with the locals. When he witnessed their reaction, he immediately realized he had something special. He continued his rap career with 2 more songs, Flexin' and Welcome to the Party. The latter would become inescapable during the summer of 2019 with the help of a Thriller video he posted on his Instagram that went viral. "I ain't even know what I was doing," he admitted in conversation with London's DJ Double. "No strategy, no plan. It's just natural. It just happened like that, and they just went crazy. And now I'm a rapper." Welcome to the Party is a no-nonsense New York rap that speaks to women without feeling soft, with Pop embodying both archetypes of the gangster and the gentleman. In the lineage of one of Pop's personal favorites, 50 Cent, who successfully converted his own brand of street rap into bona fide crossover hits. The lyrics are directed at a female listener, which is unusual for drill. The track is reminiscent of 50 opening his own breakthrough hit, Inda Club, by chanting, "Go Shawty, it's your birthday." Like the G-Unit general, Pop Smoke had the right combination of street reputation, charm, and humor that allowed him to be simultaneously lovable and dangerous. Fifth reciprocates Pop's respect. When Hot 97's Ebro Darden told him he'd been playing Pop Smoke on the radio, 50 responded with a half-threatening grin, "Oh, you better." That mix allowed Pop to have fun with viral dances while releasing grimy, gravel-throated street records. It also allowed him to bring flowers and cookies to the Angie Martinez show, urging her to do impersonations of his voice before discussing recent shows that had been shut down by the NYPD and the reality of navigating his newfound success. "I'ma give a message to my young N, you feel me? N like us, coming from where we come from. We can't afford to F up. We can't afford to slip up. Make no mistakes, you heard? Because they are watching and they want us to. We got all odds against us." Fellow Brooklyn native Nadeska Alexis of Apple Music met Pop for the first time when he came through her Beats One show for an interview. "What stood out to me about Pop Smoke was his natural Brooklyn charisma and a level of confidence, but not arrogance, that I don't see very often in other artists who I'd consider to be his peers. He was the kind of person who could easily light up a room and make everyone feel at ease in a very disarming way. I learned during our interview that he'd recently shifted into a state where he was beginning to look at interviews as a part of the career he'd chosen, a way to show more of himself to fans instead of just dismissing them as an uncomfortable probing experience. With that barrier gone, I think we were just really starting to see more of the it factor that could have catapulted him to further stardom. The success of Welcome to the Party would eventually bridge his passion for music and basketball when it became the walk-on track for the Brooklyn Nets, as well as being a fan favorite of athletes around the NBA. In the wake of his death, fellow Brooklynite Taj Gibson of the New York Knicks told Bleacher Report that he'd regularly play Pop's music in the locker room to hype up his teammates. His voice was unique. He had a different sound, just so much talent, Gibson said. He had a lot to offer, and he would have been a good inspiration for young guys to look up to and understand that if you stay on the grind and you persevere, you can be successful just like him. Welcome to the Party kicked down the door for the Brooklyn drill scene, and Pop Smoke became its de facto icon. He wasn't looking to hog the glory, however, praising his peers whenever possible. "Some people may not know, but Fivio Foreign, that's my N for real," he told DJ Kaisley. "My first show I ever did, Fivio Foreign was there. Facts." While he was talking to Angie Martinez on his Meet the Woo 2 release date, he used his platform to highlight his borough. "It started with me, then you got Fivio Foreign, Chef G, and there's plenty more that you ain't even met yet. You bout to meet Raw Swish, Busy Banks. They are doing it. You bout to see them, young N. They are doing it. Chef G, Sleepy Hallow. Yeah, you go and see them, N Brooklyn." New York-based journalist and DJ Brandon Jinx Jenkins revealed that it was more than the music that made Pop Smoke the perfect leader for Brooklyn's burgeoning movement. It takes more than memorable lyrics or a hypnotic beat to make a star. A lot of it comes down to the person. And Pop Smoke had it. He moved with a presence that felt well-aged and durable, like good quality leather, leading people to believe he was much older than 20. And he spoke with a charisma that made you want to be him, funneled through a voice that was unmistakably Brooklyn and inimitably himself. Jenkins continues, "I say all of this because movements need leaders, and as a musical genre, hip-hop needs stars. Brooklyn drill will undoubtedly live on, but its true potential in many ways feels stunted due to the murder of its most captivating champion. Another loss for Brooklyn, another wound for New York City, another scar for hip-hop and its future." The instrumentals used for the 3 songs were all produced by 808 Mello, a producer from London who was known in the UK for tracks like Heady One featuring R.V. Quote. S notorious drill anthem, No Better. After catching wind of the tracks, he reached out to Pop, who flew him out to New York. Here, the pair took their creative partnership further, recording Meet the Woo, which was produced entirely by Mello and released via Stephen Victor's Victor Victor Worldwide imprint. While Pop was specifically interested in the sound of Mello's beats and how the mood related to his lifestyle, he told SK Vibemaker, "I don't really make drill music." He unwittingly entered into a cultural exchange between New York and London, giving the U.K quote, "S strand of Chicago's drill sound a bigger platform overseas." The first trip Pop would ever make outside of the US when he got his first passport after dropping Welcome to the Party was to London, where he discovered he was just as beloved as in his hometown. The song had spawned UK remixes from Heady One, K-Trap, Russ, and Skepta, the latter of which was released officially. The pair had been introduced via a sneaker store owner in Crown Heights, and led to Pop joining Skepta's Ignorance is Bliss tour as the support act for the UK leg. Back home, the New York anthem continued to build steam, with remixes from Nicki Minaj, French Montana, and Dave East. An 18-minute version excursion megamix from Tim Westwood showcases the scope of influence that the track has across both sides of the Atlantic. Apple Music's Charlie Sloth hosted a Fire in the Booth with Pop, which gained so much online acclaim that the studio version made it onto his second mixtape. "One of the most charismatic human beings I've ever met," reflects Sloth. "From the first moment he was introduced, I knew we would be friends. His personality and positive energy were infectious, and this came through via his music. Over the last year, I couldn't play in any club around the world without some Pop Smoke being in my set. His music excited me, and he had the world at his feet. His passion and knowledge of music and culture was second to none. His sound has started a movement." Since the first mixtape, Pop had started spending more of his time in Los Angeles, where he was enjoying the slower pace of life. "I like recording in LA because New York is a little busy," he told the LA Leakers. "In LA, everything is a little laid back." He also began to build relationships in the wider rap community, and since going feature-free for Meet the Woo, had started expanding his sound through collaborations. "As I'm in this game, I start to meet some genuine N," he told Kaisley. "So, I got Quavo on there. That's my dog. I got my guy A Boogie there. New York S. I got my boy Lil Che on there. That's my N." Pop reported that he and Quavo had a particularly productive creative chemistry, having already recorded 9 songs together, and over the past few months had collaborated with Travis Scott, H.E.R., Gunna, NAV, Callboy, and PNB Rock. He approached collaborations as a student, understanding their value as a relative newcomer. The results of these tracks give a taste of the bigger ambition for Pop's music and where he was preparing to go. S Slide remix and Like Me, with PNB Rock in particular, demonstrates versatility as he applies his gruff tone to melodic bedroom jams, a reminder of that gangster and gentleman duality that had him primed to be Brooklyn Drill's first bona fide pop star. In his short time, Pop Smoke made an impressive mark. It's inspirational to see how much he was able to achieve and how many people he was able to touch during his tragically abridged career. Since his death, Pop has been celebrated through new music by Jay Guapo and Lil Che, while Travis Scott has previewed an unreleased collaboration on Instagram. Pop Smoke's legacy will continue with the music he recorded so prolifically during his short tenure, but also through the torch passed to the rest of the Brooklyn drill scene that he made a point of highlighting wherever possible, particularly peers like Fivio Foreign, Chef G, Sleepy Hallow, Raw Swish, and Busy Banks. The story of a young artist capturing the hearts of listeners all over the globe by making a positive life change before having their life taken so soon is one that we're becoming all too familiar with, but it's one that never feels any less painful. And that's it from us today. Until next time, thank you for watching.